What's up guys, and the beast of Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra finally takes on the best of Google, which is the Google Pixel 6 Pro. For the first time ever, we have the custom Google Tensor chip, which is going head to head against the Exynos 2100 inside the S21 Ultra. As always, we're gonna kick things off by booting up both of these two phones at the same time. Here we go. So Google's logo faster than Samsung Galaxy logo, and my prediction is Google will be faster. And as you can see, it's done. S21 Ultra still taking time. Wow, that is definitely a very noticeable difference in the boot up. And now it's done. Before we jump into the app opening speed test, I want to quickly check out the fingerprint speed test on both of these two phones. Now, unlike Samsung's 3D ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, Google is actually bringing an optical fingerprint reader. The first obvious difference with the 3D fingerprint scanner on the S21 Ultra is that you don't have to press it, you just have to lightly tap it and it unlocks a display, whereas you can't do the same thing on the Pixel 6 Pro. You actually have to press and hold for like a second for it to unlock. Let's test them out together. So here we go. The S21 Ultra definitely tiny bit quicker there. Again, for me, the major difference is with how you touch the screen. This one is just such a light tap. Okay, let's get down to the business with the app's opening speed. Before we do anything, I just want to quickly run a fresh benchmark on both of these two phones. Again, Exynos 2100 on the S21 Ultra versus the Google Tensor, which is based on Samsung's 5nm architecture. It's got a similar GPU as the S21 Ultra's Exynos 2100. Okay, we are done, and as you can see, the single core performance is very similar, but there's definitely a big difference when it comes to the multi-core performance. S21 Ultra wins. As always, we'll start things off with some system-based application just to see the smoothness and animation. Starting with phone dialer, looks pretty quick on both phones, and you can notice the animation speed when you're exiting the application looks really good. Again, 120Hz refresh rate on both smartphones, keeping everything pretty smooth. Settings, that felt a little bit quicker on the S21 Ultra, just a tiny bit faster animation there. But let's see the differences with the third-party apps, starting with Subway Surfers. And as you can see, the S21 Ultra, tiny bit quicker there, followed by the Pixel 6 Pro. Just gonna leave the app here. YouTube, slightly quicker on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Again, different feed. If we scroll around, looks pretty smooth on both phones. No issues whatsoever. Quora, that's about the same on both phones. Again, you guys are the judge here. Once again, really good performance. Spotify, felt slightly quicker on the Pixel 6 Pro. Alto's Adventure, another one of my favorite games to test out, and seems like they are very similar there. Yeah, very similar performance. Let's quickly start this off, and you can also see the in-app gaming performance looking really good. Onboard devices, huge displays, Super AMOLED, of course, on the Samsung. And this is, of course, Samsung's panel as well, 120Hz LTPO. They look incredibly detailed. Next, we got Asphalt 9, another favorite game to test out in these speed test battles. And let's see, Tensor or Exynos. Okay, so Exynos 2100, definitely quicker there with the load up of this application. But what about the actual in-game loading time? So we'll be loading up the same stage on both phones. Let's play at the same time. Boom. And let's see if Tensor can turn things around. And it does. So it's definitely quicker than the Exynos 2100 in this in-game loading time. So a quick comeback within this same Asphalt 9 comparison. Again, these two chips are, like I said, are very close to each other when it comes to their build up. Especially if you have noticed the Geekbench score in single core performance looked very similar. It's just that with more Cortex A76 cores on the Exynos 2100, we've got a better multi-core score, but the actual performance is looking really good on both phones, like proper 60 frames per second, no difference at all. Next on the list we have TikTok, and a bit of a different feed, but felt quicker on the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Again, scrolling everything, playing different videos, everything looks pretty smooth. Moving on, we have the heavy game, which is the Pubg Mobile, much requested, and let's see if there is any major difference. Oh, you can see very close. Seems like the S21 Ultra just a tiny bit faster there, and it is done. So tiny bit faster there, not a major difference. Now taking a quick look at the graphics, pretty much the same story on both phones. Ultra frame rate along with the HDR maximum graphical settings. Let's quickly go ahead and start the match and see the in-game loading time as well as the actual gaming performance with PUBG. Once again, the same GPU on both phones, just a little bit more cores on the Pixel 6 Pro. So Pixel 6 Pro is done and it's looking really smooth. Full 60 frames per second and no lag whatsoever. Let's check out the S21 Ultra. We've got pretty much the same performance here as well. Again, like I said, same GPU, so not a lot of difference is expected. Next up we have Twitter, and felt a bit quicker on the S21 Ultra. If we scroll around, you can see I felt a little bit of stuttering on the Pixel 6 Pro when it's loading up content, but I don't see the same thing on the S21 Ultra. So yeah, Twitter definitely needs to be updated for the Pixel 6 Pro. But yeah, once it's loaded, it's looking really good. 120 Hz refresh rate. Instagram, and about the same on both phones. Really quick performance. Once again, scrolling looks pretty good. Let's check out my profile. That was about the same as well. Let's go back. Let's see which one launches the Insta camera first. So that looks definitely faster on the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Now moving on to the super fun part of the speed test, which is the video rendering speed. And again, I feel like we're gonna get a pretty similar performance on both phones because again, same GPU. So we just applied the same filter with 200 intensity, and let's go ahead and render out this video at the same time. Here we go. Let's see which one is quicker. You can see the S21 Ultra. Whoa, surprisingly, it is absolutely smashing this rendering speed, whereas the Pixel 6 Pro is currently taking its sweet time. Okay, so the S21 Ultra is done. Well, Pixel is at 90%, so not that far away, but still quick performance on the Samsung Beast. And now we are done with the Pixel 6 Pro as well. Next up, we're quickly jumping towards the browsing war. So we have Google Chrome versus Samsung Internet Browser. Let's go ahead and launch WWE.com first up. And you can see that was really quick on both phones, but it felt like it was quicker on the S21 Ultra. Once again, scrolling speed looks pretty good with no lag whatsoever. Next up is wikipedia.org, and that is about the same on both devices. Now time for the most fun part of the test, which is the RAM management. So 12 gigs of RAM on both of these two Android phones, and they're keeping the first app in the memory. Let's see, phone dialer. That actually got refreshed on the Pixel 6 Pro, but still in the memory for the S21 Ultra. Settings, still there. Subway Surfers, that got refreshed on the Pixel 6 Pro, but it's still there on the S21 Ultra. Let's see, we're going back to YouTube. That actually got refreshed on both phones. Quora, still there. Spotify, Alto, got refreshed on both devices. Asphalt 9, which also got refreshed on both devices. Not a surprise. TikTok, that also have the same story. Moving on to PUBG, and that is actually still there on the Pixel 6 Pro. Very surprising, but it got completely refreshed on the S21 Ultra. So both phones are going back and forth when it comes to the RAM management. It's not perfect on either devices. Let's see if we have the Instagram in the memory or not. Pixel is still keeping that, while it got refreshed on the S21 Ultra. So seems like Pixel may have started to have like a upper hand in terms of RAM management, but not by a lot. I mean, both of these two phones are definitely getting beaten by the iPhone 13 Pro Max. I've already done a speed test of the Pixel 6 Pro against the iPhone. The link for that is in the description. But yeah, overall, these two phones were very close. Again, not very surprising for me because these are built on Samsung's process, and specs wise these phones are very similar. So apart from the RAM management, both phones have kept up pretty good, especially the S21 Ultra, which is now a couple of months old. I'm definitely satisfied with the performance of the Pixel 6 Pro. Again, it's Google's first chip, and so far the real life usage wise the optimization is pretty on point. Hopefully in the future with more updates things will get more optimized. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below regarding this speed test battle. With that being said, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.